Hello, welcome back to Retro Ginger. So this video we're going to have a look at a Apple II drive. So there's a couple of drives and a control board that I recently got, and that control board is a very standard bit of kit, but it's not well. So if we take a closer look at this transistor here, Q1, everything looks fine, doesn't it? But it's not great. If I bend it, it's actually only attached by one leg. This is suboptimal. Also, the electrolytic is not well either. I noticed potentially there's some dry joints and other stuff knocking about. It's not in bad nick, but obviously at the moment it's just not going to work. So we need to repair this first. I've given the drives a very brief look over, very brief clean. They're not in the best of physical nick, but you know, you never know, it might work. These things tend to be quite robust. So first off, we're going to have a look at this transistor. So using Google Magic, I managed to figure out that it is a 2N3906, which is a general purpose PNP transistor. So this is the data sheet for that. So it's a pretty standard bit of kit, and obviously we've got the pinouts there. So I've written on a piece of paper how these things go. In my parts bin, I wanted to find a transistor that would work. This one hopefully should work okay. It's a little bit over-spec'd really for what we need, but I don't think it needs a great deal in terms of performance or anything like that. So a ZTX551, it's a PNP transistor. So this is general purpose. This one is a power transistor. Who cares? We can just swap it and hope for the best. Chances are it'll be okay. So looking at the orientation of the pins, essentially it's the same thing. So you know, you're looking down on it. There's a little guy there. I've got to get that in focus. Anyway, there's the little guy. It's much smaller than the other one, even though it's a power transistor. But let's have a look in here. So we can put it in my generic tester, and this works by having them for the transistor testing. Any 1, 2, 3 socket, so it doesn't matter whereabouts you go, as long as it's going into 1, 2 and 3 separately, then it will work. So if we switch that on, it boots up, recognises what it is, and then does a quick test. There you go. So it recognises it as a PNP transistor, and that looks good. So as far as it's concerned, everything's fine. If it was broken or wasn't working, then it would show you, it'll give you an indication of faults. This is a really useful thing. This does transistors, diodes, dual diodes, MOSFETs, silicon control rectifiers, resistors, inductors, capacitors, and equivalent series resistance capacitor testing. Absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it wasn't expensive. Absolutely brilliant. So what we're going to do first off is we need to desolder that transistor off the board. I need to get my eyes. Where's my visor? Fortunately, I'm using my rather naff one today, but hey, it works. Okay. So we need to desolder those. So the Q1, you can see underneath the 3 solder joints. Let's get some solder on there. Find a suitable place to put this on. Be a bit careful. I'm not grabbing anything important. Okay, make sure that's actually in focus. Probably not much you can really see there. It's maybe a bit far away, but we'll go. Oh, lots of junk in there. Let's move that around. see how much of this is going to come out. Well, one of the legs has come out already. I don't know where it's gone. Disappeared, it's jumped off. He got fed up and wandered off. Okay. Just have a little dab of heat on there, probably to pull it up. There we go. So that's the poor old single leg transistor. That's good for nothing. That's going to go into recycling. And that other leg is still attached. Let's just do that. Okay. Okay, good. So that's cleaned up quite well. So what I'm going to do now is put some solder back in there. Okay. So, hopefully, because Steve Wozniak is a nice guy, actually shows you the orientation of the transistor, and what's great is that the pinouts are actually the same. So you look at this one, even though it's a smaller transistor, you can see there's a curved end and that curved end there. So we basically just have to bend this into place and solder him back in. But I think what I'll do, make it easier for me, is just suck that solder out of there. Be careful not to lift the tracks. Let's do it from the back. Okay, that's what we need to do. So we've got a nice clean place to put the mount the thing, so we get it round the right way, otherwise it ain't going to work. So that is the semicircular end. Okay, so we can see that that's now mounted nice. Okay, so all we've got to do now is flow a bit of solder on it. And I'm not even sure whether we're going to need to, yeah, we'll probably need to cut the, what am I doing? I need solder, not the solder sucker. Okay, so that's in place, all very nice. And that's looking okay. Now, the problem is, I can't leave it like that because, well, it just doesn't feel right. I can't leave it like, it shouldn't leave it like that, because obviously this is going to go eventually, hopefully, inside my Apple II. So, or if I don't keep it, another Apple II, if I sell it. I've got a DuoDisc, so I'm currently running a single floppy on there. I've got a DuoDisc, and I was thinking about moving to that, which is, it looks, you know, it's more modern. So, but if I can get this working, maybe I'll just put this back on eBay and sell it. I'm not sure. Okay, so I'm going to remount this capacitor, 22 microfarad, 16 volt capacitor, and actually there's no solder in that hole at all. So let's just try and put this back in. Let me just check something in a minute. Yeah. For a minute it looked like it was in the wrong way, but it's actually not in the wrong way. Okay. I think I'm going to have to pull some solder out of there.
I think it's actually soldered in, but I'm not happy with that. I wanted to go through that hole.
Nope. Oh dear. Okay.
I shouldn't have gone anywhere near it until I'd cleaned up that hole.
Why isn't that going? Ah, I can see why. Okay.
The actual leg has got quite a lot of stray solder on it.
Got it. Okay, that's now protruding through, so we can put some solder on that.
Then we've got to be really careful here that we don't end up with very large leads dangling around, because that's
Really bad news. You don't want that to interfere with anything else. Okay. Now the other thing that may be a problem, I don't know whether it is or it isn't, it may be a problem. If you look here on R1, this R1 thing here, that looks like a dry joint there. There's like a little sort of halo around it. So I think it's a good idea, if you see anything like that, you might as well just bung some solder on it. Okay, so I think in theory that's it. All the other joints look okay. So, next thing to do is to grab some contact cleaner. As you can probably see on these contacts, they are pretty shocking. They're really bad. These ones look okay, but this is dreadful. So, liberal with the contact cleaner. That was a bit messy. I should have put some card down or something. Anyway, we're going to give that a bit of a liberal spray and a wipe. Oh my goodness, look at that. All that stuff comes off there. Yeah, that would not do it any favours at all. Well, that looks a lot better. Let's just get rid of this rubbish. So, well, you can see that it's made a significant difference. Okay, so I think I'm going to let that dry off a little bit and have a quick look at the drives. So we did look at the drives before, but it didn't record that. I was just curious to know what was going on. And actually, the outside is awful. I mean, it's really, if you have a look how bad this is. It's really disgusting. But the inside is absolutely clean as a whistle. So there's nothing to be done really. It looks perfect. I may have to clean the heads. Not sure. But yeah, I don't really want to mess with these unless I have to. Besides, it's a case of if it goes wrong, you fix it. If not, you use it. Now I do want to do something to the outside because it looks a bit rubbish, but the most important thing is a functional. What is annoying though about these drives, you look here, that's one of them. I'll put it there. That's one drive, and that's the other drive. It's very annoying. Now it's only a little thing. It's obviously, not going to, hopefully, if they both electrically and mechanically work, it's fine. So what? But it's annoying because this has got the nice metal decal on it. This doesn't. It's such a minor thing. It really is a minor thing, but you don't know how much that annoys me. It's just the fact they're not identical. I just don't know. Really, I can't tell you how much that bugs me. Anyway, so apart from that, you know, at some point I need to figure out how I'm going to label this so I know which is drive 1 and which is drive 2. Actually, that seems to be coming off, but anyway, you can hear that. Hear that? That's the glue. It's not great. So I wonder if there's labels you can get. Maybe there's. I haven't looked. Maybe there's labels you can get online. I'm thinking maybe it's possible to make some labels. Yeah, I mean, printed labels, they're not going to be great. The thing is, this has got a like a relief on it. You know, it's a bit like Artex ceilings in the UK. These horrible sort of stippled things on the ceiling that look awful, but they're in pretty much all the flipping houses. But yeah, so it would need to be something a bit bigger than just an ordinary sticker. Maybe it was on card and stick it to that. That might look naff. I don't know. I might investigate that. But there's two things. I need to figure out how I'm going to make this better. You can see there's the glue is still on there where it's disappeared. So there's two things. There's making it look nicer if it all works. I mean, that's the first thing. Got to test it. Also, differentiating between drive 1 and drive 2. There's no way to differentiate that at the moment. Got no idea. So, you know, I could say that's drive 1, that's drive 2. I don't care. That's fine. But the issue at the moment is there's no actual indication of what's what. And that also bugs me. Again, it's not a huge issue. But, yeah, these actually had some paper stickers on the front. There's some residual material there, some sticker material, which is not great. It looked really naff. But it'd been in the wars. It was used I think it was used in a print shop, weirdly, but from the eBay listing. Probably some of the worst packing I've ever seen. And it was just, the drives were just basically dumped in a box. You know, they stood at one side of the office, had a box the other side, and just threw them in. So I'm not sure. This could very easily have got damaged in transit. I mean, none of this may work. I just don't know. But this was attached. They were all attached to the ribbon cables. But these drives were sat on top of this, and it was just, yeah, all over the place. So apparently it's been serviced by an engineer called JRF. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing, and that's all cushy. Just wanted to do a quick test. I'm not sure I've got any water here. Let me see. Oh yeah, there's a bit here. Just wanted to see whether any of that could just be washed off with water. Actually, yeah. Oh yeah, that's coming right off. Okay, so there's nothing nasty there. I've seen drives with paint on and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, that could probably come up quite nice. And obviously this cable looks a bit naff, but again, that's, you know, fairly cosmetic. I'm sure that would be fairly easy to sort out. Now I've got an Apple IIe, which is slightly more tricky with this, because obviously the E has an external 19-pin D drive connector on it, and it's all geared to that. So, you know, there are D punch outs on the back of the unit. The older versions of the Apple II, they had slots, so all the cables went through the slots, and it's really easy. But in this one, it's slightly more difficult. These needed to be threaded. They'll need to be threaded through the D. I'm just wondering whether that's okay. It's been mashed up a little bit, but no wires are exposed. What's the other one like? Actually, the other one, funnily enough, the other one with that thing on it, is actually in better nick in many ways. So anyway, so the next step will be to get it onto the Apple II and test it out. So yeah, that'll be another video, but thanks for watching. Cheers.